the top of the page. Adding and subtracting decimals. Top of the page, adding and subtracting decimals. So the first step you want to do when adding and subtracting decimals is you want to line up the decimal vertically. What does vertically mean? Up and down. So you might want to put an arrow up and down if you don't remember that vertically means up and down. Horizontally is across. Think of the sun on the horizon as across, so vertically is up and down. Step 2, use the same rules as integers. We do, will come out after notes.
Perfect. So what are we doing, picture?
Yeah. Remember, when no decimal, it is after the last digit. For example, if I have the number 15, where is the decimal at? After the 5. So if I wanted to write that as a decimal, it would be 15.0. Remember, when no decimal is after the last digit. Alright, let's look at some examples. Say I have 34.1 plus a negative 81.9. Okay, so I need to decide, do I have same or different signs? Different, so I'm going to say different signs. So what do I do when I have different signs? I'm going to subtract. Okay? Which number should go on top? 81.9. Then line up 34.1. So your decimals line up, and we said we're going to subtract. Okay, so this part is just going to be regular subtraction. So 9 minus 1, 8. Bring my decimal down. 1 minus 4. I have to borrow, becomes a 7, that becomes an 11. 11 minus 4, 7. 7 minus 3, so 47.8. Is it a positive or a negative 47.8? Negative, how do we know? We had negative 81.9, so that large number is larger, so it has to be a negative answer. Okay? It's the same thing as last week, except now we have decimals that we have to line up. Let's try 5.8 minus 97. Using my rules of integers, what do I need to do first?
I have the decimal.
Before I do that.
Oh, put it there.
KFC, why do I have to KFC?
Put a minus.
There's a subtraction in the middle. So keep, flip, change.
I'm changing to
Okay, so am I going to add or subtract? Subtract. So I'm doing KFC and then I'm subtracting. So which number has to go on top? 97. Where's the decimal at 97? At the end. So I have 97.0 minus 5.8. What's the 5 going to go under? Under the 7. That's why you have to add that decimal, because otherwise it's not going to line up correctly. We did. We kept this one. We changed this and we did this. But now we have different signs. We use our rules of integers. So different signs tells us to do what? Subtract. So we're subtracting them. Okay? So 0 minus 8.
You gotta borrow.
Borrow. 7 becomes a 6. 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 8? 2. 6 minus 5? 1. 9 minus 0? 9. Bring my decimal down. Positive or negative? Negative. Isabel, did that make sense? So we had 5.8 minus 97. Okay, so when we were keeping, we flipped this to a plus sign. We changed that to a negative. Okay, different signs tells us to do what? In integers, subtract. So that's why we subtracted there. Okay. So the only reason the decimal, we just have to know to line up the decimal. Otherwise, think of this as 58 plus a negative 97. When you're trying to figure out if you need to add or subtract, ignore the decimals. You don't even need to worry about the decimal there. It's when you line it up that you got to worry about it. Okay? Let's try another one. Negative 60 plus a negative 25.979. Negative 60 plus a negative 25.979. So am I going to add or subtract? Add. Does it matter which one goes first? No. I'm going to put 60 though, since that one was the first one. Remember to add your decimal at the end, and I know I have 3 numbers after the decimal, so I'm going to need 3 zeros behind there. 25.979. We said I'm adding, so 0 and 9, 0 and 7, 0 and 9. Bring your decimal down, 0 and 5, 6 and 2. Positive or negative? Negative. They're both negative. Keep your sign and add. Alright, any questions on those? So rules of integers.